Hi and welcome to SimSmart's online sessions. If you like my videos, please don't forget to like and subscribe my channel. So anytime before you start any painting, a rough outline is very important. And if you are a beginner, I would recommend this step before proceeding with the painting. So I've given a very rough outline. So the circles are for the flowers and those rough small things are for the buds. Need not be the exact way as I'm doing, but roughly make sure there are a lot of flowers at the bottom, and as you're going up it becomes lesser and less and smaller. And for each flower, before you start painting, divide each flower with the help of the pencil or a pen and then start. It becomes very easy for you. So each circle, if you see, I'm dividing into 6 equal parts. So this step helps us for ease of painting. So each one you can notice I'm dividing into equal 6 parts. So once we're done with that, take any 2 colors of your choice and then start mixing. In session 1, I have explained you clearly how to load your brush. In case you missed that, this is just a briefing of that. You can see the way I'm loading my brush. This is very important before you start any painting, particularly one-stroke painting. This step is very important. See the way I'm loading my brush. So don't be in a hurry. Load your brush completely and properly before you start painting. So once you're satisfied with the loading of the brush, that is when we're gonna start painting. So before we paint, make sure the pencil lines that we have done are very light. So I raised them. But I can see, I'm not sure if you can see, but I can see clearly. So in each block, the way we have divided the compartments, I'm taking the help of that and completing 6 equal petals. The petals need not be 100% equal, but make sure at least they are close to each other. So in case if you feel it is not proper, you can give another layer as it is drying up. You'll get a very beautiful flower. So don't get disappointed if you're not getting it properly. Practice it well before you start the main picture and you can proceed. And if you are confident, do it directly. Repeat the same technique for rest of the flowers. So all you have to do is start from one end, press your brush, lift and release. So this technique we have learned in session 1 and session 2. In the strokes we have learned. Check out those sessions again. Understand the strokes, see how I am doing, learn them and come back to this session. So I have explained everything very clearly in session 1 to 4, different types of strokes. So in case you are not getting this, please don't get disappointed. Go back to those sessions, practice till you get, then come back to this session again. And one more point to remember, as a beginner I would suggest you go for liquid acrylics than the tube acrylics, because it becomes very easy for you to control the flow of the paint. In case you take the tube acrylics, it will be very confusing initially as to how much water to add into it and all that. So instead of all that hassle, it's better you use liquid acrylics. So you'll get liquid acrylics directly. You do not mix water in it. I didn't mix any water to it, directly with the paints. I have loaded my brush and started doing it. As mentioned, 1 to 4 sessions describe these all. Please go back to those sessions, understand, learn the strokes and come back to this. Now for the 4th flower, notice the change that I have made. The white color is to the outside and the purple is towards the inside. For the first 3 flowers, I made sure the purple was out, but for the 4th one, on purpose, I am making it white to the outside and purple to the inside. So let me tell you all one thing. The choice of colors are totally up to you. You can take any 2 colors of your choice, and you need not do the same color all through. You can change the colors also. Each flower you can make into single individual color. It's totally up to you. And finally for the buds, you can see I'm doing only 1 petal. The petal stroke that we have learned, I'm doing only 1. So all these are like buds, but we are not finished yet. Let this dry before you move on to the next step. Not completely dry, at least 70% dry. So first, till it dries, what I'm doing is I'm making sure I'm drawing all those buds, the single petal. And as mentioned, the colors are totally your choice, and you can keep the purple out or white out. It's totally up to you again. Complete them. Once you're done with this, that is when we are going to draw the lower part of the bud. So for the lower part of the bud, if the purple is outside, the lower part also you have to do the same way. The purple should be alternate. So it's like purple white, see that properly. So this is the lower side of the bud, giving a nice U shape. As you're giving U shape, make sure you end it in a sharp manner. Don't give a blunt end. And notice it, the purple is towards up and white is towards down. That is how your bud is. For all the ones in which the purple is outside, we are making sure it's purple white. Now check out for the ones in which the white is outside and purple is inside. I'm making sure the U that I'm doing right now, the white is upwards and the purple is downwards. Now it is white purple. So this point you have to keep in mind and do it. Now I'm taking the back side of the brush, loading it with white color and giving a nice dot in the center of each flower. So this dot again, it's totally up to you about the color. You can change the colors, totally up to you, but make sure it's a nice circle. And for the smaller ones, I'm taking a smaller brush and giving nice small dots in between the bud. So let those dots be very small, don't overdo it. Keep them as less as possible and as small as possible. Again here you can just leave it with white color, you can use purple color as well. As mentioned, this is totally your choice. And after this I'm gonna tell you another technique. So the same brush that I've loaded with white and purple, I'm taking the same brush and see the way I'm just stroking. I'm just adding lines. Use only the tip of the brush. And when you're doing it, as you're going to the end, make sure you end it with one single line or two lines. So taper it. So my main point is, as you're going to the end, taper it. So we'll start with V shape and as we're going up, we taper it and we end it with one or two strokes. Again here you can change the color, you can make it really colorful and beautiful. And you can add as many as you want. But as mentioned previously, whatever you do, don't overdo it. First imagine how many you have to do and according to that only you do it. And as a beginner, as I told you previously, I suggest you to mark rough areas with a pencil. Now before you move on to the next color, let me show you how to clean your brush. So I've just taken a cup of water and you can see that I've taken my brush completely down and doing sweeping motion. So don't hit the brush, do a nice sweeping motion. It should completely go down to the bottom and then a nice sweeping motion should go on. So the way you clean is, it should remove each and every particle that is there on your brush. There shouldn't be any paint residue once you clean it. It should be very neat. That is when you can save your brushes and they'll be really long lasting. So sweeping motion is very important, no hitting. Okay, and then you can clean it with a paper napkin. So keep it really dry. So now I've loaded my brush with light green and a dark green and I'll be adding the leaves. So before you start adding the leaves, draw a few leaf outlines with the help of a pencil if you're a beginner and then only do it. So see the way, see the technique that I'm doing. As mentioned in the first few sessions, we have learned even this particular stroke. Practice it really well and get back to this and complete it. So I'll be doing half strokes here, that is the smaller leaves, and a few of them I'll be doing full leaves also. So for the full leaf, the technique is, after completing one side, the next side will be starting from the tip and will be pulling it down. So every time whenever you feel there is no sufficient paint on your brush, load it again. So this loading is a main key for this particular painting. So keep loading your brush whenever you feel the paint is completely gone or the tip of the area is not coming properly. That means the paint is not loaded properly. So these are the full leaves that I'm doing. So as mentioned, you can add small leaves, big leaves, everything is under your control. You understand how to do a smaller leaf and a bigger leaf. I'm just using one single brush to do all different types of leaves. Different sizes I'm doing. So this technique you should learn before you start doing it. As mentioned in the other sessions, they are there. Just check out my 1 to 4 sessions which I explained very clearly on how to do these particular strokes. Just understand the technique before you start doing and complete it. So whatever you do, make sure you get a nice sharp edge that comes when you load your brush properly. So practice it. Don't get disappointed if you're not getting it. If you practice it well, it will be very easy for you to get it. And finally, once you're done with the leaves, you can start adding the stems. So for this, you can use the same brush, but use the tip of the brush to get this thin stroke. In case you're not getting a thin stroke with the brush that we are using, take a round synthetic size 1, 2 or 3 brush and start doing this. So why I'm mentioning size 1, 2 or 3 is you get very nice fine lines, and if you have 0 size brush also you get nice thin strokes. So but whatever you do, make sure you take a synthetic brush only. So round synthetic brush, the one that I'm using right now is size 2 synthetic brush. And for the buds, you can add the sepals also. Those green ones that hold on to the bud, those are called the sepals, and you can add them. So that gives you more natural look to your buds and looks really beautiful. So you can just add like 2 or 3 of them. So usually you'll be having 5 sepals. Most of the flowers will be having 5 sepals. So one side hardly 2 or 3 will be visible. So according to that you can do it. And you can decorate it after this however you want to. And if you have any doubts, let me know, and I'll see you in the next session with a new project. And please do subscribe my channel. Love you all. Bye.